All right, so first things first, we're gonna navigate to the contracts page. And here we see our contracts tab where in-flight contracts will exist. We also see the templates tab where our contract templates will exist and any in-flight invoices. We can see that from the invoice tab. Here we're going to look at creating a new template. Now you can do this one of three ways. Either you generate a blank template, or you start from one of the templates that we offer, or you import your existing contract, right, that you've been using. And that's what we're going to show you now. So you go ahead and click that, and you can upload a PDF, a document, right, a picture. But essentially, we're going to parse it with AI, and we're going to pull out the contract blocks so that you can reorder those. So here we see business information, client info, event details, any offerings that have been selected, and payment summary, and of course, the required signature block. We also have some other settings like page numbers, the date generated, contract ID. And we also have some legal terminology that you can add and edit, right? So please be sure to review with your lawyer just to make sure everything is in order. We're going to set this as default, and we're going to save this template. Now we come back and we see this new template has been created. We're going to look at contract settings, right? So you can select your default template. You can make sure a contract is required for your bookings. You can also set the signing deadline, right? How many days does your client have to sign the contracts that get generated? And then you can specify when an invoice should be generated, right? After you and your client signs, or at the same time that a contract is generated. So we also have the payments tab, right? And this is where you can determine your payment structure. Do you want a percentage deposit, a fixed deposit amount, or full payment up front? We allow you to specify how you want to run your business. So we're going to leave it, for us, we're going to leave it at percentage and leave it at 30%. And then we're going to say the full balance must be paid 7 days from the event start. We're going to also look here at payment methods, right? So as you see, we have Zelle set up with the phone number. We also have a PayPal option, and we're going to add Venmo, right? And we're going to just add our username, leave the label as is. And then we're going to set consultation, right? So if you have an external consultation link for bookings, you can specify that here, and we'll show in a bit where that comes into play. So we're going to save these settings. And now we're going to look at a booking, right? So booking has changed now that contracts have been introduced. So we click into the booking and we see the inquiry information, right? The info about the event. We see the offerings that were selected, the answers to the questions, and then we see the contact information. This is key along with that consultation link that we set up, because now you can send a text or an email to your potential client based on the preference that they entered during inquiring. So you can accept without a contract, but if you have contracts set up, the default accept allows you to specify and confirm event details, right? Name, type, start day and time, duration, the basics. And now you see the offerings that were selected at the time of the inquiry. That just gets pulled in automatically, right? We also allow you to add more offerings, right? Whether it's add-ons, more services, or package. You can also add a custom item, and you can adjust prices as you please. And now we confirm the selected template. hit continue. And now we see the template with information automatically generated in, right? No more manual contract building, right? You have better things to do with your time. Let us handle all of this automation for you. And now we're going to add our signature. We have a saved one. You can also draw one, and then you can change the font if you want to do it typed. We're going to go with the saved one, and we're going to hit sign and send contract. So the contract gets generated. The client gets invited as a host. All right, so now I'm signed in as the client that received the contract from the vendor that I inquired with. Also, they'll get an email that will send them to the same page. So we see the contract that I was sent. I can confirm the information, make sure everything tracks, right? And is what I discussed with the vendor. I see the vendor signature, and now it's my turn to sign. I can use a saved template for signature, or I can create a new one. I'm going to go right ahead and sign this. After I wait a little while, I'm going to see the invoice get generated. I also get this sent to my email, and the vendor also gets alerted. But here we see the invoice information, we have the download PDF, we see what is due for the deposit, right? That's auto generated. And now I can act on the payment methods that the vendor set up. So we see PayPal, we see Venmo. So we don't handle payments directly in Bazaar. We just allow the vendors to set it up and get paid. Now, as the vendor, I see that an invoice was created. That means my client signed and it was generated. I see the information, right? What's due, what the balance is, the client information, the services. And now I can confirm the deposit was paid, right? Or I can confirm full payment if they were a boss and paid everything up front. So once I confirm, I see that deposit. And then once I confirm again that the balance was paid, right? The invoice turns to paid and we're all set, right? I will now be confirmed as the event vendor. And here we see a new contract, right? So this new contract, this is if you have any events in Bazaar that don't have a contract associated with them, right? You can click this button and generate a contract. So here are some events that exist for me that don't have contracts associated with them. So I'm just going to select them and go through this flow of, you know, confirming the offerings, confirming the pricing, confirming the template. Then I'm going to review the contract, right? Make sure everything is nice and accurate. Then I will continue and